I'm gonna try and make this as short as possible and as compressed, I think is the right word, as possible. But there is something important that we have to talk about, something important that I want to address right away, namely how people are killing themselves over poor financial decisions. Now, recently, some news surfaced that some guy, and I don't know who he was, some 34, I think, year old guy, actually chose to kill himself because of his poor financial state. I don't know exactly the details around his financial state. I assume that he was probably heavily indebted. I don't know what sort of debt it was. Probably credit card debt, probably maybe a couple of loans and so on. But that's beside the point. The point is, the burden felt impossible to bear. Nobody was there for him. Or rather, he didn't tell anybody. Because I believe this was his mother who said something along the lines of, all of a sudden he was just gone. Nobody even knew anything. Nobody knew what he was up to. Nobody even expected it, because on the surface everything was perfect. And so that's the importance. That's the important thing here. If you're struggling financially, you actually need help. It's no different, rather, than if you're struggling, let's say, with drugs or alcohol or any of that sort. You know, it's gradually developing into this epidemic. It's an epidemic. It's only increasing. It's only getting worse. And so many people are. I'm losing my train of thoughts here, because there are people around me and they're really, really annoying. But my point is, so many people are gradually getting exposed to it, and so many people are seemingly incapable of escaping it. And that's the major problem here. Because look, if you have a disease, if you have an illness, you can train away. You can, let me rephrase that again. If you have a sickness, if you have a disease, you can actually work on improving that disease. You can get in better shape. There are medicines, there are ailments. You can do something about your sickness and your disease. But if you have financial trouble, you can't train away your financial troubles. You can't take any medicine for your financial troubles. There's only one solution, really, and that is more money, or getting rid of your debt, or some other thing like that. But you can't, if you're overweight and you're in poor financial shape, you can't lose weight, you can't lose fat, you can't train away your debt the same way you can train away your fat. It's literally impossible. And so there is only one solution really that applies, and that is actually improving your financial situation. There is no other way, really. And so I guess what I'm saying here is, this silent epidemic is just growing and growing by the day. And if you know somebody who struggles, if you struggle yourself, then just sweeping it under the rug, pretending that it'll all go away, doesn't help. It's not going to do anything. It's only going to make matters worse, because let me just tell you this: interest rates don't take a break, and bills don't take a break, debt doesn't take a break. Nothing really takes a break. And try arguing that with the tax office or the banks or any sort of other creditor that you have. It's impossible. And so the bottom line is, you can't give people a magic pill, and think that that's going to help work or help improve all of their financial trouble, because it's not going to do that. The only thing that really works is what has always worked: making more money. And you can do that by teaching yourself sales and persuasion. Now, if you want to learn more about sales and persuasion, you can get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching it or listening to this, and I'll see you there.